I just came back from watching The Town, and I thought that this movie was okay. It was nothing special. I mean, for them to say that this is the studio that brought you The Departed, it wasn't as great as The Departed, but it was still pretty entertaining to watch. The Town is about four bank robbers who rob a bank. Now there is one bank robber who falls directly in love with this girl who works at the bank. So what this movie is basically about, is a bank robber who falls in love with the girl that he robbed the bank of. And she doesn't know that he did this. So throughout the whole movie, he's going out with her and she doesn't know who he is. And it wouldn't be that big of a deal if he robbed the bank that she was in, but they took her captive and then they released her. So it's like they took her hostage and now he's trying to get with her and actually have a future with her. But if she ever finds out, it's not going to happen. It's not going to work. So, now that we've talked about the movie, let's talk about the performances. Jeremy Renner. That is all I have to say. He is freaking hilarious in this movie. He's scary at times. He's a very good actor in this movie, and I think he's a good actor just in general. I really like this guy. I didn't like him that much in The Hurt Locker. I mean, I thought the movie was okay, but his role in this movie was so good, and I hope to see him be actually the leading guy in the next movie that he is in. But what about Ben Affleck? Ben Affleck was okay. He was nothing special, but he did have his moments too. Ben Affleck also directed and wrote the script. He has wrote the script for another movie called Good Will Hunting. That is where he won the Oscar for. So every time we mention Ben Affleck, he's actually an actor who writes really well. That's why they gave him an Oscar for writing the screenplay of Good Will Hunting. What I really love about this movie is the costumes. I think they are awesome. The first one is like a skeletal kind of costume, but the second one, the nun one, that one is freaking hilarious to look at and kind of scary, because if you see somebody with a nun mask like that coming up to you, I think you'd be a little afraid. I pretty much was. I thought that was awesome. I love the costumes. I cannot stress how much I freaking love the costumes in this movie. Another good thing about this movie is it pretty much has everything, just like The Departed. It has love, it has comedy, it has even some scary scenes, like I said. A lot of fighting, like The Departed did, a lot of violence, which I also like about this movie. There are a couple of things that I don't like about this movie. Like, for one, I don't like that the cops are freaking stupid. And I can understand why they did it that way, but I just don't like it. I mean, I understand that it's a movie and that they're trying to make the main characters seem like they're invincible, but they are so dumb in this movie that I think you will agree with me on that. Another thing I don't like about this movie, it's what I said earlier about Ben Affleck falling in love with the girl really fast. I just don't think that is that possible. I mean, it was extremely fast, even faster than Twilight. And you know what I think about Twilight. Movie, give it like a 6 or a 7. But then I started thinking about it, and I really did enjoy the movie. It was entertaining. But it did have flaws. Not only the couple of annoyances that I said, but there are others that I just can't remember right now. So what I'm going to give this movie is a 7.5. And if you don't know what that is on my movie scale, that is a little bit better than decent. So it's like decent. And what would I rate The Departed? I think that movie is a 10. Because it has everything, like I mentioned. It has unforgettable quotes. It's got great directing. Not saying that this movie doesn't. This movie has pretty good directing. It just doesn't cut it compared to The Departed. Now, should you pay the ticket to go watch this movie? I think you should if you like The Departed, if you like bank robbing movies. The thing about these type of movies is you're always on the bad guy's side. I mean, you may not consider them that bad, but they do steal from the bank, so that is considered technically bad. So, what I was going to say about this is that there have been 3 attempts to try to record this movie review. The first time, I thought about what I said and I was like, I don't like it because I was just bashing the movie. I was just saying this movie sucks and don't watch it pretty much, and even I still give it a pretty high rating. But now, the second time, the quality sucked. It was terrible. And here is what I mean by the second time and the quality. And now the third time, the final time, I finally got a good enough camera so I can record. And like I said, I'm going to record a lot more because I have a good camera and it'll be easier to upload now.
I'd like to start with your abduction.
4 men made me open the safe. They took me as a hostage.
Were you able to see anything at all through the blindfold?
No.
I'm putting this whole town in my rear view. You grew up right here. Same rules that I did.
Are you in love with me?
Yes.